Now it's time to walk on the boat hull. A few times in the ocean, a wave would come out of nowhere, and I have no time to slow down. At such moments the boat can jump out of the water completely, and then crash into the water with all its force, so that all the things on the boat fly in different directions, and the boat itself groans and creaks as a Moby Dick is wrapping it. I don't really like racing, and my boat isn't for racing, but I don't like the speed of 7 knots either. Although in the most economical mode, with such a price of gas, this is a significant expense. In short, I was jumping on these waves and began to notice that the furniture in the boat began to skew. The doors on the cabinet began to close unevenly. The drawers were somehow difficult to open and close. At first, it seemed to me that the reason was in furniture itself. Humidity, time, and all that. But when, after another jump of the boat, the drawer on the bowl under the captain bed fell off, and it fell and broke the pump that supplies fresh water from the tank throughout the boat. I took apart the entire bed and the entire bow compartment to change the pump. And there I saw the floor of the boat was held on with some shitty blue putty, and now it was completely turned away from the hull of the boat and living its own independent life. The only things holding the floor in place was the furniture, kitchen cabinets, sofa, air conditioning compartment, etc. All of this was screwed to the floor and to the hull of the boat at the same time. All this furniture held the floor as best it could, but it had no chance of holding the floor in place any longer. I felt sorry for these poor cabinets and decided to fix the floor by gluing it to the hull with polyester resin. I have to glue this floor all the way around, all the perimeter. Of course, where I can get to it. For example, it's impossible to get under the shower stall. And to get the cabin out of the boat, I have to remove the upper deck. Oof, it's not in my plans. I decided to start next to the shower, under the refrigerator. Go around in a circle and finish on the other side of the shower. It's easy to say, but now I'll try to do all this work. Of course, all the work won't fit into one video. I'll try to fit it into 2, maybe 3 videos. I don't know yet how it'll turn out. The fridge is easy to remove. It is held in place by 4 screws only. It's quite reliable. But why the floor was glued with this shitty blue putty? I refuse to understand. It seems the disposable vault is winning. This is how the connection between the floor and the bolt hull looks like. The same trouble around the entire perimeter of the floor. I'll have to redo all of this and put it in order, as I understand it. The longest and the most unpleasant part is the preparation and cleaning of the surface. But otherwise, all efforts with the polyester resin will lead to an even worse result than I have now. The space here is a bit small, but I can fit here with all my tools. I used the tools that I could find in my garage. I didn't buy any special one. The most useful tools were a chisel and the wire brushes for a drill. I really like wire brushes. They produce much less dust than sandpaper and leave deep scratches in the fiberglass, which is great for making a strong bond between the polyester and the hull of the bolt. Of course, you have to wear glasses and protective mask when working with these brushes. Otherwise, the bolt may never be needed again. I always use a vacuum to make my life easier with further cleaning of dust throughout the boat. The main goal is to remove the shine from the fiberglass and clean the surfaces from the blue putty, since polyester doesn't adhere to it. This process isn't fast, but I have no other options, and I am in no hurry. My knees get very tired from sitting all day in such an uncomfortable position. I always have a spare battery for the drill and several brushes of different types and diameters with me. Wire wheels don't last long. I used up and threw away 2 of them in such a small area. I wipe the prepared surfaces with acetone. I don't know why this is done, but for some reason everyone advises using acetone. Well, I repeat it like a monkey, hoping that it will be better this way. When I use acetone, I have a draft here on the boat. I have all the hatches open, all the windows, all the doors, and the ventilation is on too. I do everything as always, slowly and very, very carefully. I try not to miss anything. The reason for this is very, very simple. I myself gonna go out into the open ocean on this boat. Life jackets and an inflatable boat are of course very useful stuff for sea travels. But it would be better if they aren't needed. Well, the surface is prepared, and I can start laying the fiberglass on the polyester resin, layer by layer. At first, I added 2% of hardener to the resin. But polyester hardens too quickly, and I didn't have time to use the entire mixed portion. Later, I had to mix less resin, 80 grams instead of 100, and reduce the amount of hardener. Instead of 2%, only 1. Then I was able to hurry less and have time to fully use the prepared mixture. I always use a scale to prepare the mixture. I think it's more reliable and accurate than counting drops of the hardener. I don't want to ruin my work by counting drops incorrectly, or by incorrectly determining the volume of the resin without using a scale, and then having to redo everything. It's very important to carefully smooth the fiberglass to the surface, so that there are no protruding or bubbles anywhere. For me, it's most convenient to use a short and hard paintbrush. It easily reaches the most inaccessible places. And it's convenient to work with it on any curved surfaces. I buy paintbrushes on Temu for 10 cents a piece, and as disposable ones, they work pretty well. I also buy fiberglass on Temu. It is much cheaper there than in US. I take different sizes tape, 3, 5 and 8 inches wide, as well as a meter wide canvas for different purposes. From a meter wide fabric, I then cut out all sorts of different patches, any size I need. So, layer by layer, I apply fiberglass, soak it in a polyester, smooth out all the unevenness and bubbles, and with each layer I increase the bound area by increasing the width of the fiberglass patch for reliable adhesion. In total, I put no less than 10 layers of fiberglass. In some places, if the crack is very large, I put 15 layers. Well, in the places where the vertical layers overlap the horizontal ones, it turns out twice as much, from 20 to 30 layers. And this is not excessive at all, because the solidity of the boat hull in the ocean is much more important than the reliability of the engine or something else. I very generously soak each layer with polyester to create a thick layer without any voids, and so that each layer is securely bonded to the previous one. Now I'll put on the last layer of the resin and leave it overnight. This is what it looks like the next day. I think it's done pretty well, haha. All the resin has cured well and looks very strong and durable. I was satisfied. I am happy with my work and the result. And now the long but very pleasant assembly process. I didn't take it apart much, so I'll assemble it today. If of course I don't ruin anything and don't have to redo something. In many places it's impossible to get to with a drill, so I have to use hand tools, screwdrivers. I carefully check everything I've done, so that I don't forget anything, and don't have to go back to it again. I am installing the stand under the fridge in place. It was difficult to unscrew it when I took it off, and now when I put it back on, it's also difficult to get to the screws. I don't see anything. I do everything by touch. Oh, that's better. Now I can see on the screen what I am doing and where those dumb screws are. I screw the other side in the same way. Everything is ready at this place. Now I'll remove the light and the fridge can be put back. I connected 210 volts AC and 12 volt DC and carefully slide it into its place. Now all that remains is to secure the fridge with 4 screws, install the door in place and move on to another location. I am aligning the fridge so it doesn't interfere with the drawers opening and closing. Everything seems to open and close fine. Now it's time to install the door on the fridge. I have finished everything in this place, and now I'll move to the bow. I spent the next 4 days in the bow of the boat. I did the same things there. First I cleaned all the surfaces from the blue putty. Then I processed all the surfaces with wire brushes and sandpaper. Then I wiped the fiberglass with acetone, and then I sealed the cracks with polyester and fiberglass in 12 layers. I won't show the whole process. I would better show you the repair of the left side of the boat in the next video. And now I'll just show how it looks like. In my opinion, it's not bad, I like it.